I want to introduce to you some of our, legal advisory counsels. In fact, these individuals, they're actually working side by side with NeXarise. We approached them when we first decided to form this company. And both of these individuals, they have been absolutely essential in NeXarise and forming it to what it is from a legal standpoint. They're here to protect us. And, these individuals, they're going to share a bit of their background. But when I tell you that their expertise in legal, it's so extensive. In fact, they are, if I had to describe them, they are like very super experienced, and they're really like the Ferrari in the legal world. And they're going to be sharing some words with you. And the first individual that I want to be introducing, who's part of the NeXarise legal team, is someone that, we've really got to know, and, we've really become very good friends. And, he's really representing NeXarise on a legal level, and we're really excited to have him part of our team. And that's none other than Mr. Nick Mallett. Nick, the floor is yours.
Sorry about the background, folks, and the rather luminous, whatever it is, shirt. And thanks for that bigging up. I've never in my life been likened to a Ferrari. And perhaps that's the first and last. I've been asked to say a few words about myself, and I shan't digress into car analogies, but I'm a BMW guy, frankly. For a lawyer, my career path has been conventional. I read law at university, then moved back to London, joined a law firm as a trainee in 1977, and qualified as a solicitor in 1979, when Margaret Thatcher was in Downing Street, and I think Ronald Reagan might have been in the White House. I became a partner in 1982, and I continued as a partner in large law firms until 2011. I always intended to work in business, not just for businesses, but the variety, the working environment of law firms, and yes, the money proved irresistible. So I stayed much longer than I had intended. I spent nearly the entire period of my working career as a lawyer in private practice in firms in London. I became an outsourced in-house counsel to a wide range of businesses, mostly operating worldwide. They included airlines, hotel groups, a car rental company among many travel companies, engineers, investors, golf course developers, banks, and even a foreign government, but also some smaller companies, especially in the high-tech and services sectors. I set up a home office as long ago as the early 1980s, as so many of my clients were based overseas, especially in America. And this was, of course, before the time of the internet and mobile phones. In the late 1980s, I formed a multinational association of law firms called Legal Alliance, putting a lot of my experience of clients' mergers to practical use for my law firm. Legal Alliance was formed to provide a seamless service to our multinational clients, and indeed it did. So, what do I know about MLM? You might reasonably ask. Well, in the early 1980s, I had my first experience of the network marketing sector. I started working for two companies. World Book was one, that published encyclopedias, printed volumes, vast sets like Britannica, and the Kirby Company, which produced home cleaning systems, or vacuum cleaners if you prefer. After a while, they were acquired by Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, which went on to acquire Pampered Chef as well. You may well have heard of Warren Buffett. He's one of the world's most successful investors, and not known to buy duff companies. From time to time, he's certainly been one of the world's richest men, and he's nearly always in the top 10. These companies remained clients of mine until 2011. Representing those companies led me to working for very many other companies in the direct selling space, especially MLM companies, including Amway, for which I was the lead lawyer in Europe for about 15 years. Over that period, MLM companies probably represented about a quarter to a third of my entire work. In 2011, I stood down from partnership in a law firm in order to pursue a portfolio career, which I have done very happily since then. I've also managed to reacquaint myself with my family, who hadn't seen much of me ever since I qualified as a lawyer. Almost in anticipation of the new normal of lockdown, you might say. I've worked from my home office consistently since 2011. I've continued to advise MLM and other direct selling businesses, large and small, including startups. When I'm not doing that, I'm working with businesses in travel, the music industry, and IT, as well as work for a few charities. I also retain a few individuals as special clients. Many of my clients have been entrepreneurial. That often means that they cut corners and take risks where perhaps they shouldn't, or I would certainly advise them of the nature of the risk. As a cautious person, as lawyers naturally are, I probably wouldn't take some of the risks. The three guys who set up NeXarise have been exceptionally professional from the start. They've been a delight to work with. They listen intelligently and they apply the advice they are given. I'm delighted to be supporting this exciting project. I believe that Patrick would say much the same. I've known Patrick since 2009, I think, and I'm very pleased to be working alongside him for NeXarise.
Nick, thank you so much. Highly appreciate the words that you've shared. Now, ladies and gents, the next individual that I want to bring on, again, part of the NeXarise legal team, and we're really, really excited to have this individual on board. He's just been an absolute pleasure to work with, and that's none other than Mr. Patrick Gilmore. Patrick, this floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. I was brought on board with NeXarise by Nick, who, as he mentions, we've known each other since 2009, and we were briefly partners in a large law firm, and both moved on in our respective ways. I'm head of corporate and commercial at my firm, which means I've got a wide brief for everything from startup businesses through advising on the way in which contracts work, terms and conditions, regulatory issues, and ultimately, in many cases, sale. So a large amount of law, which I cover, which isn't related to the multi-level marketing business per se, but every business has the same issues about data protection, about terms and conditions, etc. So that's what I was brought on to assist with. And working with the three guys from NeXarise has been a real pleasure. As Nick said, they've been very professional. Like Nick, many of my clients over the years have been entrepreneurs, and they tend or have tended to get the business up and running, possibly make sure it's successful, and only then start to worry about whether they're complying with the law or not. I've often had people come to me 7-10 years after they got started, and I've got a sort of 20-page document of things that I then write to them to say, these are things you need to think about, these are things you need to deal with. NeXarise has been dealing with all of those things from the outset, and as I say, by the time all of the launches happen, I'm sure we'll have every single I dotted and T crossed. Thank you very much for letting me speak, and back to Ahmed.
Thank you so much, Patrick. And Nick, thank you guys for everything that you've done, playing a big part in the growth of NeXarise, and we're just really, really excited to have you both on board.